Once again, everyone, I'm Randy Ray, and alongside Southeast Missouri State coach Ron Shumate. Coach, no bag this week. You won 2 games. The regular season's over, 17-10. Now, a lot of teams would like to have 17 wins on the year.
Well, we'll start off by first saying, Randy, I thought you was going to wear the bag this week. But, we did have 2 wins last week, so there's no bag, and I'm happy for that. But, you know, what you said, a lot of people don't realize that. There's a lot of coaches and a lot of schools around America that like to be 17-10 right now and finishing up the regular season, have an opportunity to play in their conference tournament.
You know, looking back on the regular season just a little bit, Coach, you came back from a year when you played for a national championship, and that's always a tough act to follow. You had a very young team. Now that you have 17 wins, looking back, how do you judge this year?
Well, you know, it's got to go as a winning year, there's no question. But what a lot of people don't realize, Randy, is the fact that we lost 7 games by 3-4 points. You win those games, you're looking at 22 wins, 23 wins, and it was one of those years where we just, you know, when we got on the road, we played tough, but we just couldn't pull out the wins.
And it was also a year when the conference played very evenly. 8-6, your final conference record. Are you in the postseason playoffs or not?
Yes, we are. We play Northwest at Northwest Thursday night, and Central will play Lincoln at Lincoln, and then the 2 winners will hook up on a Saturday night game. If we would win, then we would go to either Lincoln and Central for Saturday night's game.
Okay, we'll talk more about that later in the program. We'll be back and check the highlights from this past week, so stay with us. Hey, let's relive the week here. Let's go back to Wednesday night. You took on Lincoln University, a team that had knocked you off in overtime on the road, and a team that was fighting for the conference championship, so you knew they were going to come in ready to play.
Well, I think they came in really ready to play, Randy. They played very hard. I thought they played harder Wednesday night than they played us when we played them at their place, and they beat us on a buzzer beater. Anderson hit one out of the corner at their place in overtime to beat us, and you know, that was a game. And then you look at the Unseld game, and then you look at the Central game. Preparation for Lincoln was a game that we felt like to get into the playoffs that we had to have. As you recall, last week we talked about, well, for our approach to the game. Our approach to the game was, you know, play it like, you know, if you don't win, the season's over. Right. So we went out, Lincoln played hard, we played hard, we won the ball game, and I'm just very happy for that.
Well, let's go ahead and check the highlights now. A lot of emotion in this game because there had been a lot of celebration the last game at Houck, so a good crowd was there, and they were ready for ball.
Right. We started off very slow. In fact, they got ahead of us, and I think of all the trivia that was going on before the game, and the place was sold out, and the last regular season game at Houck really got our kids in a situation. But, you know, you don't want to take anything away from Lincoln because, you know, they played very hard and played very tough, and, you know, they got a good ball club. They finished second in the conference, and last night they went up and beat Northwest at Northwest by 2 points. So, you know, they got a good ball club and could possibly get the NCAA bid. We started Wood Fork at the guard position. Woody turned it over. You know, Woody's going to be a good player, but we felt like that, you know, we needed some quickness in there, and his shooting ability. There's Conley shooting. He shoots an air ball, and Cleo's really been struggling in the last few ball games. Last night, I think he hit 5 for 15 against Lincoln. He hit 5 for 17. I think he's lost his concentration. You know, sometimes when a kid has success like Cleo has had this year, he forgets how he got there. And what he's got to do, I think, is reevaluate himself and come back and start doing the things that made him successful. That was Wood Fork that got the basket, a good feed by Woody, and got it in there to Derek. Derek missed the easy one, and here they come. You know, they're very quick. They run very well, and I think that's Anderson he missed, and here we are running.
Coach, you're going to tie the game coming up here, 21-21. This was how tight this one was. Here's Edwards.
Well, Edwards had a good night he played very well this past week. He had a good game against Lincoln. He had a good game last night up at Northeast. There's Derek getting a slam. And Derek, you know, he's been getting his points, but he hasn't been playing with the intensity defensively of late that I'd hoped that at this time of the year that he would. And you know, for us to do anything in the tournament, him and Cleo is going to have to start playing like they played earlier in the year.
You're tied at half, 31-all, and here we are second half.
Right. Malcolm, You mentioned Malcolm. Malcolm had a great game against Lincoln. I think he had 16 points. He had 8 rebounds. He had 7 for 11 from the field. You know, he had a good ball game. And you know, Max played 3 or 4 good ball games for us this year, but his consistency too hasn't been up. And you know, and to talk about the team, for example, if Max playing well, it seems like Cleo's not playing well. If Cleo's playing well, Mac's not playing well, or Derek's not playing well. We got to try to get all our kids playing well at the same time. That's been a factor. Consistency out of all our players, and a little more intensity defensively.
Here we see Semo with the ball. I think Henry's going to get a jumper for you here, Coach.
Right. He stopped and shot it. And, you know, everybody talks about Mac's hands. I don't think it's Mac's hands. I think it's Mac's concentration and intensity that causes his hands problems. I've seen Malcolm Henry catch passes that only very few people could catch. Then you'll see Mac turn around and drop a pass that a 6-year-old kid could catch. And that's a lack of concentration and intensity, I think. That's my opinion.
There we see number 44 again. And you mentioned 16 points in the Lincoln game for him.
Right. He had a good night, and then he came back against Northeast Saturday night and didn't play very well. There's Dwayne Rutherford, a kid that's going to be a good basketball player, providing he wants to play within the system. He has a tendency to want to play within his system and not our system, and you know, that's going to cause him some problems down the road certainly with me.
So Anderson put in for Lincoln there, and Lincoln had the 1-point lead. This game seesawed back and forth until late, really in the second half, Coach.
There's a good steal by Cleo, and he puts the shot up, misses it. Mac comes back and gets another. See, now there's nothing wrong with Mac's hands there. He got the rebound, put the ball in the basket. So we spreading it out late in the ball game. We go to 4 corners, what we call 4 to score, and we're not trying to hold the ball. We're just looking for the clear shot. Edwards hits a big 3-point shot there. You know, Chris, for example, he's shooting about 48%. There's a shot for Cleo. I question whether we should have taken that shot, but it went down, so it was one of those things. It was one of those cliffhangers that finally dropped through for us.
Still 3:18 left to play, and Lincoln's going to make it a 2-point game. You're up by 2 here, 3:18 left.
Right. You know, the score certainly wasn't indicative. It was an 8-point game, but you know, it could have gone either way. What we're trying to do here is spread the floor out, keep possession of the ball, and milk the clock down to about 10 seconds, then come in and take the shot. Michael hits a big basket right there. You know, what you hope in that situation, that you're going to get fouled or you're going to get the uncontested shot. And we do that, and I thought we executed late in the ball game very well, which enabled us then to win the ball game. There they hit a 3-point play, late down. We get down, Mac gets passed it off, gets a good feed, and we get another bucket.
Here's the way the game ends, too, on a slam dunk by Henry, and fans were happy. Some celebration afterward for Houck, and you win it.
Right, it was good. And I talked to Mac after that. I said, you know, go from there and build from tonight. Build yourself from tonight, and forget about the past and just go on. And I was hoping, you know, against Northeast, he'd come out, really take Hanson, the big 6'8" kid, and just dominate him all night long. But in turn, Hanson dominated him, and we got to a point that we had to make a change in the lineup and go with somebody.